2019 is poised to be a busy year for Special Counsel Robert Mueller, who is expected to finalize his report into Russian interference into the 2016 campaign at some point, although we've heard those predictions before, and yet the investigation goes on. Our chief intelligence correspondent, Catherine Herridge, is here live to take us in depth on the important events and key people who have changed the course of this probe. Good evening, Catherine.
And good evening. Documents, text messages, and congressional testimony reviewed by Fox News show 8 days in May 2017, right after the FBI director was fired, are a pivotal period. With no hard evidence of collusion, senior FBI and DOJ officials apparently pushed back against the White House.
He unfortunately had to fly back to Washington unexpectedly.
On May 9, 2017, then FBI Director James Comey left a Los Angeles recruiting event after learning on TV that President Trump fired him. The White House released a memo from Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein to justify Comey's termination. Quote, "I cannot defend the director's handling of the conclusion of the investigation of Secretary Clinton's emails."
I told the president, Mr. President, with all due respect, you are making a big mistake.
Our Democratic colleagues complaining about the removal of an FBI director whom they themselves repeatedly and sharply criticized.
Media accounts later portrayed Rosenstein, just 2 weeks into his job overseeing the Russia probe, as badly shaken. With Comey out, Andrew McCabe took over as acting FBI director. Hours after the Comey news broke, then FBI agent Peter Strzok and FBI attorney Lisa Page texted, "We need to open the case we've been waiting on while Andy is acting. We need to lock in redacted in a formal chargeable way soon." While it's not clear what case Strzok and Page discussed, it's widely reported to be an obstruction case involving the president. The New York Times was first to report that on May 16th, Rosenstein met with McCabe, Page, among other department officials, where he allegedly discussed secretly recording the president and invoking the 25th Amendment. Rosenstein later denied the account, with an unnamed source claiming he was speaking in jest.
Mr. Baker, did you think the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein was serious about recording the president?
Page and McCabe consulted FBI General Counsel James Baker. In October, Baker told House investigators that Page and McCabe said Rosenstein was not joking.
It was the actions and it was the words of McCabe that led Baker to believe that this was very serious.
Also on May 16th, Robert Mueller, who was FBI director after 9/11, interviewed with President Trump to replace Comey. The following day, Rosenstein appointed Mueller as special counsel.
Mr. Mueller, are you investigating the president?
Everybody, even my enemies, have said there is no collusion.
Recent non-public testimony revealed that Russia collusion was still unproven when Mueller was appointed May 17th to continue the investigation, 10 months after the FBI initially opened the case.
Lisa Page's testimony, I can say, is consistent with a lot of other testimony.
And like Page, Comey said of the Russia case, quote, "When I was fired as director, I still didn't know whether there was anything to it."
May is the month in which they breathe new life into what was a dying accusation about collusion.
Well, it's not publicly known where the question of collusion stands. Since May 2017, the Mueller team has either indicted, convicted, or gotten guilty pleas for more than 30 people, but none of these public cases allege coordination between the Russian government and the Trump campaign, Ed.
Catherine Herridge live here in Washington. Thank you, Catherine.
You're welcome.
You've said, we've heard predictions for well over a year now, because this investigation by Bob Mueller has gone on for some time, as you know better than anyone. And we've heard, well, it's going to be done by Thanksgiving, it's going to be done by the end of the year. What's your ultimatum for this?
My ultimatum is put up or shut up, Bob. I mean, you know, what do you have? There are those of us who believe you don't have anything on collusion. And by the way, if you did, it's not a crime. So what the heck are you doing? Do you have anything that shows the President of the United States was involved in a conspiracy to hack the DNC with Russia? Of course you don't. But if you do, put out a report or give it to the Justice Department. Let them review it. Make sure it's not classified or whatever. Put out a report. We're ready to rebut it. I have the report ready for 2 months. We can show. No, we can.
We've heard Mueller might be coming out in February. Is that what you're hearing, or what's your sense?
I mean, oh gosh almighty! First he was coming out in March, and then in May, and then he go. We're in now the 4th degree of separation from the non-crime collusion. Mm-hmm. We went to the non-crime obstruction of justice. That didn't work out for him. So then he moved on to campaign contributions, which, by the way, are not violative of the campaign finance law. You can pay a judgment or a claim against you. That's not a campaign expense. The Edwards case determined that. That's another non-crime they're investigating. And then they're looking at now the Russia tower. Well, they should go to Moscow. There is no tower. It didn't get built. It didn't get beyond a non-binding letter of intent, which is like a wish. And so, okay, Bob, let's forget those other three. What do you got on? What do you have on collusion?
Exactly.
If you don't have a darn thing on collusion, the whole thing is a phony.
Well, recently you've said the president will not speak to Bob Mueller over your dead body.
Well, you know why?
Still say conversations are ongoing.
Because of their unethical behavior. I mean, or grossly negligent behavior. All those texts of Strzok and Page deleted after they find out that Strzok is texting that he hates Trump, that he's going to get him, that he's going to stop him, and if he can't stop him, he has an insurance policy to get him out of office. I believe Mueller is the insurance policy to get him out of office.
Well, they said it's a technical
I'm not just saying that. Strzok was his first investigator. How is it that the ones eliminated are all the ones that he did when he was working for Mueller? Right. All of a sudden, they wipe out his phone, and the ones missing are the ones when he was working for Mueller. Why? Because just maybe it would be very embarrassing if he was saying the same things while working for the holier-than-thou special counsel. And he was saying, I hate Trump. I'm going to get Trump. We're going to get him any way we have. We're framing Flynn. We're not going to tell him he has a right to counsel. And Comey approved that. Comey even said, I wouldn't have gotten away with that with a more experienced administration. We're going to trap him. We got a statement. He's going to contradict it. We're not going to show him the statement to refresh his recollection. I don't know. That could all be there.
So these are 19,000.
The person who determined what to eliminate, unless this is a lie, was his records officer, Mueller's records officer, who says that there was nothing of interest there. It's hard to believe that Strzok and Page all of a sudden decided, we're not going to tweet anymore, or we're not going to text anymore about Donald Trump. They seem to be obsessively, compulsively texting about him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what kind of lovers they were if they were texting about that all the time. Oh, no, I shouldn't have said that. That's terrible. But I mean, this is ridiculous. If this happened on the other side, can you imagine if he asked us for very relevant texts and we said, oh, we had them, but we just we eliminated them, part of our record keeping. We just eliminated the text between the president and 25 Russians.
And these are 19,000 we've never seen and will now never see.
As far as I can tell, I mean, I'm hoping there's a way to reproduce them. But I mean, texts only last for a little while. They're not like emails. I do this work, cybersecurity work, and texts are hard to get. I mean, that's legitimate.
You recently said accepting stolen property is not a crime anyway in another interview. And some thought you were opening the door to the idea that stolen property in the form of hacked emails may have been accepted by the Trump campaign. And that you
No. Here, it's a First Amendment issue, right? It isn't a stolen property. I mean, it is stolen property, but it has a different nature when it's information. So let's take the Pentagon Papers. Pentagon Papers were stolen property, weren't they? They were stolen from the Pentagon. Given to the New York Times and the Washington Post. Nobody went to jail in the New York Times and Washington Post. We've had revelations during the Bush administration.
Abu Ghraib prison.
Yeah, Abu Ghraib. All of that is stolen property. It's taken from the government against the law. Once it gets to a media publication, they can publish it. They can publish it for the purpose of informing people. Well, you can't put Assange in a different position than that. He was a guy that communicates. We may not like what he communicates, but he was a media facility. He was putting that information out. Every newspaper station grabbed it and published it.
But there was not coordination, you're saying, between the Trump campaign and WikiLeaks?
None. I was with Donald Trump day in and day out for the last 4 months of the campaign. He was as surprised as I was about the WikiLeaks disclosures, sometimes surprised to the extent of, oh, my God, did they really say that? We were wondering, is it true or not? They never denied it. The thing that's missing here is the thing that really got Hillary is not so much that they were revealed, but they were true. She actually had people as bad as that, and she really was cheating on the debates. She really was getting from Donna Brazile the questions beforehand. She really did completely screw Bernie Sanders. Every bit of that was absolutely true. Just like the Pentagon Papers put a different view on Vietnam, this put a different view on Hillary Clinton and prevented the country from getting a president who was deeply flawed. Not right to hack, still a crime. People who did it should go to jail. But no press person or person disseminating that for the purpose of informing did anything wrong.
All right, it's equal time. Scaramucci was just here saying the Mets are winners. What say you about the Yankees?
Good luck.
Easiest line of all time.
You know the Mooch is a good friend. I love the Mooch. And I have a lot of Met friends who are good friends of mine, even relatives. And I have a deep pity for them. I feel sorry for them, and I love the Mets in the National League. I root for them, and I feel sorry for the Met fans, but hey, you can't beat 27 world championships.
Mr. Mayor, happy
But
New
only
Year.
2.
That's true.
We'll have to leave on that note. I like it.
Appreciate it.
Happy New Year.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year, Mayor.
A lot to talk about here. Joining us for more is John Lauro, a former federal prosecutor. Hi, John.
Hi, Happy New Year from sunny Florida.
I'll be joining you there in a few days. So I want to start off with Rudy Giuliani and a couple tweets that he sent at the end of 2018, last couple days here. Here's what one of the president's attorneys said. He started off by saying, "I challenge Mueller to put up or shut up." He ended that tweet by saying, "It's been 2 years, so submit a report to DOJ and we will answer it." His last tweet of 2018 reads in full. He says, quote, "I am looking forward to 2019 so we can end the Mueller witch hunt before he starts his unpaid traffic ticket investigation. Happy 2019 to all."
Yeah, pretty tough language.
Yeah,
and he's taking a
couple
very
questions.
different
First
approach.
off, what do you make of the tough language?
Well, it's typical Rudy, and he sounds like the former prosecutor that he is. But he does raise a very, very significant point, which is this. Mueller was charged with determining whether or not there was coordination between Russian entities that were interfering in the election and the Trump campaign. So far, he has not established by way of indictment or by way of any cooperating witness that there was that cooperation. What he has done is brought an indictment relating to interference. And that's clear in terms of certain Russian entities and individuals that interfered in the election process.
Yeah, John, I'll get to that in a second. But, you know, you bring up what the investigation has yielded so far. Remember, before Rudy Giuliani, the president's first batch of attorneys said that they were expecting this to wrap up at the end of 2017, maybe early 2018. Here we are on the first day of 2019, and we have no further guidance, no further clarity whatsoever as to when this will wrap up. It could be a perfectly legitimate question to ask, do we even know if this is going to wrap up in 2019?
We don't, and it's entirely in Mueller's hands. The way that the Justice Department procedure works is that the report goes to the Attorney General, and then the Attorney General decides how much of the report to make public. I suspect that Mueller will not turn over a report until there's an actual Attorney General, appointed Attorney General in place. He's not going to send it to the acting Attorney General.
Matt Whitaker, because he replaced Jeff Sessions, and now Bill Barr is awaiting confirmation. If that's your
it's going to be in Bill Barr's hands.
Yeah, then this could be several months because Barr's got to go through a confirmation process.
I agree. I think we're many, many months away from the release. And don't forget, he has to really provide a very, very comprehensive report. Plus, there's going to be numerous national security issues because much of what Mueller organized and was able to obtain came from national security sources. All of that is going to be kept under wraps.
You talked about the interference campaign that the Mueller team, the special counsel, came out with indictments. I want to show you the running list of what the Mueller special counsel has led to. 5 former Trump advisors or associates have pled guilty. 26 Russian nationals have been charged, essentially for interference, along with 3 Russian companies. We still await the big question, the whole basis for why this was started. But when you see that graphic and you see what the Mueller team has come up with so far, I guess the question is, has his investigation so far been worth it?
Well, it's been very impressive in terms of what Mueller believes is evidence of Russian interference in terms of these entities, these fake entities and individuals that were participating in the campaign, which is illegal. There's no question about that. And he's put together a powerful indictment and powerful case. But the second part of what he's been charged with is determining whether or not there was coordination between the campaign and these Russian entities. And thus far, he's not really provided linkage between the two. And that's really what Giuliani's getting at. And he kind of threw it down. He said, show us what you have. So far, you really haven't demonstrated that you've established that kind of linkage.
And then as Catherine Herridge reported, there's the whole potential obstruction of justice that Mueller is looking into as well. And that's a whole different lane.
That's a whole different area, and some legal experts, including the new Attorney General, believes that you can't prosecute a president criminally for making executive decisions like firing the head of an FBI or an AG, but it could still be an impeachable offense.
John Lauro, former federal prosecutor, enjoy the sunshine down there. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.